This morning we have an update on a break-in and hostage situation reported in Bath Township last July that led to an officer-involved shooting. 2 criminal charges have been dismissed against the East Lansing man accused in the incident after the judge accepted a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. According to prosecutors, Bailey Glazier broke into several homes in Bath Township while carrying a knife. When police eventually confronted Glazier, he briefly took a homeowner hostage before running away and then breaking into another home. He refused to drop the knife, according to police, before he was shot by officers. Yesterday, following a forensic psychiatry report, Judge Corey Barkman agreed to drop 2 of the charges against Glazier. Those charges include assault with intent to murder and assault with a dangerous weapon. He is scheduled for a status conference now in